Well, the downside for any manager in any sport to having a loaded roster is expectations. Then you throw in the Dodgers brand, the Los Angeles market. 9 seasons as the Dodger manager. They are in first place again. Second best record in the National League. They're wrapping up a series with the Pirates. I watched it yesterday. Dave Roberts joining us. By the way, you are in Pittsburgh, and then you took your staff, I guess, to watch Mike Tomlin. So what was your thinking on that? What did you want your staff to see with Coach Tomlin?
So our director of player performance, Brandon McDaniel, set it up with Mark Bruner, former Steeler and a friend of both of ours. And so it took a few members of the staff. And, it's voluntary workouts. So each day, Coach Tomlin addresses the guys. So today was about the exclamation point and finishing plays and doing things the right way. And so it was applicable to everybody on a football field, but also obviously in life and baseball. So like I told you before we aired right now, Colin, I was like ready to run through a wall for this man. And he's done it for so long and won so consistently. But to have that energy every day, every year is for me, is fascinating.
Well, there are obviously 10 times as many baseball games. So when you have stars, it's tougher to have. I saw there was a moment about a week ago when you had great compassion on the mound for one of your pitchers. Baseball's a different sensibility. You can bark occasionally, but how often over the course of a season? You got smart veteran players. They've been around. They know the culture. How often, Dave, do you have to ramp it up and occasionally bark with that team you're managing?
Not very often. I think I'm more of the guy that likes to have that one-off conversation. I think that sometimes I feel, given that we play every single day, when you sort of set the stage for yourself to have a team meeting or be visibly vocal, you sometimes make it about yourself. And I always want to make it about the players, about the game. And so I certainly get my point across, maybe not to the liking of some people that want to see reactions. And I'm wearing a Dodger uniform, but I'm not Tommy Lasorda. But I think also, with football, it's once a week. And football, you can play with emotion.
Yeah.
But I would argue that with baseball, the tempered mindset is better, is more beneficial.
Dave, you already lead by 7. You don't even have a couple of your top pitchers, Bobby Miller, Clayton Kershaw. You could probably hit your way to a division crown, but obviously to be successful in the postseason, you need a full staff. Baseball is such a sport of routine, Dave. Let's say, hypothetically, you get a 10, a 12-game lead later. You would love to have a fresh team in the playoffs, but again, Mookie Betts wants to play. Ohtani wants to play. How do you weigh keeping a team fresh? I mean, between spring training and the regular season, Dave, you got 200 games. You want a fresh team, but you got stars, competitive guys that want to go out there. The standings for you late in the season, will you monitor those and think, I know my guys like routine, but I'm going to give some of these guys days off?
I love that you bring that up, because the thing that's great about that is there's no right answer. I think for me, my default always is players want to play. Players are competitors. They signed up to play. But I will say that given the win-loss, the record in the standings does and should dictate to some point as far as workload, and also giving other guys opportunity. And that's a lot of it on the pitching side too, to protect those guys. But the fact of the matter is that I just don't believe you can bubble wrap guys and put them in the postseason and then them to go out there and perform optimally. Baseball is played by humans, and so and you have to kind of play to keep that edge.
Yeah. But Mookie Betts, Ohtani's going to get, Kershaw and Ohtani are always going to get with the Dodgers. They're going to get a lot of play here. Mookie Betts doesn't even make sense. The idea that you could just say, hey, we're going to move you to the infield. It doesn't, you wouldn't take a running back and say you're going to be slot corner. Were you, I mean, it doesn't, you don't see it. I mean, it's one thing for A-Rod to go from short to third. That's a transition. The Mookie transition position, Was it tough? Was it restless? What did you make of it as you were talking about it happening?
I mean, I'm telling you right now, sitting here right now, seeing Mookie Betts play shortstop, I would have never in my wildest dreams felt that could happen. It was a possibility. One, in the fact that I just don't see superstars making themselves so vulnerable
Right,
to a position change that
right.
drastic, and opening themselves up for criticism. And number two is just the performance alone, and it's so demanding. And I've said it before, though, is that I just don't think that there's one player in baseball that I think could have made this transition.
Yeah. Now he's historically unique. He's just a great athlete. And look at this catch we're showing, right? He's just
He
insane.
he really is, Colin. He is, and also the thing is, though, he's a great athlete, but he's. I just love the humility too. It's one of those things where you get a superstar player that he doesn't realize how impactful he is, and I think that that's charming for me as a manager in the sense of that humility and people gravitate towards him. And I was talking to him the other day, and it's just he just loves the work, loves the grind, and when you get a superstar that just loves practice, and just like I remember Kobe, I was at Kobe's last game, and he just says the dream is the journey. And for Mookie in particular, the journey of working and practicing, that's the dream, and he lives it every day.
Dave, there's an argument. I said this 2 years ago. People compare Otani and Babe Ruth, and I'm like, well, Otani's better. He's playing against better players. The game's global. Otani is remarkable on a million levels. He looks like a movie star. He seems like the nicest kid in the world. Um, I think DHing is much harder than people think. You go from ice cold to merging onto freeway traffic. It's hard. Is there moments in all your years of baseball, and you played on that Red Sox team, World Series, all the players you've managed and seen? I remember a friend telling me he played minor league baseball with Ken Griffey, and he said by the third swing, he was like, oh, I knew this guy. The ball off Ken Griffey's bat in the minors didn't sound like all of ours. What did you initially see with Ohtani as a Dodger? I'm not talking Angels, that you just was jaw dropping. Does he do that to you daily?
He does. He does. And I didn't like you. We didn't see Babe Ruth, but I'll take Otani all day long, given how difficult the game is and the specializations of it, and the foot speed. But yeah, I think for me, just the physicality. When you get up on Shohei, he's a lot bigger than you think. He's
Yeah.
like Clayton Kershaw, where you see him on the mound and you see him, he's baggy, got baggy pants on. But when you get up on him, he is very physical. And Shohei's the same way. He's got broad shoulders, thin waist, not an ounce of fat on him. And I just, when I see him from the sidelines, from the dugout, just to watch him chew up ground when he's, legging out a triple or getting down, gaining 90 feet down the line for an infield hit. And then you look at the sheer raw power. So just everything he does is just he's the best on the field at every asset of the game. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, you go into a 3-game series with the Yankees. Obviously, there's advanced scouting. You'll be handed that today or tomorrow before. I imagine it is pitch around Aaron Judge. I don't know what the advanced scouting says with the Yankees, but you're the Yankees of the National League. Have you gotten a glimpse of them? They lead in ERA. They're a power team. They throw it hard. They're a power team. Have you gotten any look ahead on the advanced scouting on the Yankees, and what do you see or hear?
I haven't. I've watched a lot of probably what you've watched, what fans have watched. I haven't really dug into them yet. I'll do that tonight. We got them tomorrow. We got them this weekend. But yeah, Judge is obviously having a Judge-esque type MVP season, and I think Soto's just been a game changer. I think that kind of
Totally.
edginess, the controlling of the strike zone, the getting on base, the grinding at bats. He's playing great defense. I think that's been transformative. We've known Alex Verdugo for quite some time, and obviously this is going to be a great series. I think that the East West Coast rivalry, Dodgers Yankees, all this World Series back in the past. I think it's going to be on the national stage. I think it's great for baseball. And you also mentioned Shohei Ohtani, and he's the one guy that really can move the needle
Yeah.
in baseball. And so I think it's a lot of eyes are going to be watching us, and it's going to be a fun series. And there's some guys from us for us that have never been to even New Yankee Stadium. So this is a real treat.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.